I started playing Runescape right around 2003, and Runescape has always been one of my favorite games. But I remember all the way back to 2008 when I began looking for new games like Runescape. I remember always digging deep on the internet just looking for that new hidden gem of a game that's like RuneScape. And throughout my search over the years since 2008, I've never even found a single game that came anywhere close to what I was looking for. Until October 2022, when I stumbled across this video. I discovered Remote Realms, a truly hidden gem of a game that by far exceeded any expectations I had in finding a new game like RuneScape. While Remote Realms has all of those elements and archetypes that we love in old school RuneScape, it also has its completely own unique vibe. I know there's so many people out there who would absolutely love to discover this game, and it's more than worthy of recognition. This game is already jam-packed full of content that will keep you busy for a long time, as well as there being frequent updates and expansions which only add to that. Remote Realms is truly beaming with insane potential. When I first discovered Remote Realms, I was instantly pulled in. I literally knew since first logging in and beginning to explore the world that this was the new game like RuneScape that I was always looking for. There was an instant sense of nostalgia, wonder, mystery, magic, enchantment as I explored the world while enjoying its wonderful music. I've been playing for around a year and a half now, and there's still so much to the game that I haven't explored yet. Players still to this day are uncovering new secrets in the game. So let's take a look at not all, but some of the main aspects of this game so you can see for yourself why this game has such insane potential. We'll start off by going over skills and some of the unique skills that this game has to offer. So Remote Realms has many of the archetypal skills that we know from RuneScape, while they have a life and a unique feel of their own. Two quick examples of this would be fishing and cooking. Fishing can seem a little tricky at first without the guidance of more experienced players, since you're going to need worms and an angling rod to catch perch. But once you understand the basics of fishing and how to obtain the rods that you need, it's relatively simple throughout the earlier and the mid-tier levels of fishing. But when you advance to the higher levels of fishing, you can begin placing traps around the map, and when you hit 62 and 71 fishing, you can catch sharks and sea turtles, which both require a lot more skill than basic fishing, which I wish I had the fishing level to show you, but like I said earlier, there's still a lot to this game that I've yet to explore. And you can see this even easier in cooking. While cooking has many simple foods that you can cook just simply either at an oven or a fire, there's also much more complex styles of cooking that if you're willing to put the work in, you can get much better food, such as baking, making cheese for baking, salads, soups, pizza, malting, brewing. These more complex styles of cooking can really mimic real life and what it would be like to make these products from scratch. I mean, just listen to the cooking guide for making cheese. The two main ingredients to get started are milk and rennet. First, warm up the milk and add the rennet. Second, slice up the formed curd. Third, pour the product into a wooden hoop covered with a piece of cloth. Fourth, use a compressor to squeeze the contents of the hoop. Fifth, leave the raw cheese on a shelf. Examples like this all throughout the skills give the game a very adult, lifelike, survival, natural Iron Man feel to the game. A very cool thing about the skills in Remote Realms is that all the skills are very interconnected and they're all working together. You'll surely notice this as you play Remote Realms, how all skills are connected and benefiting each other. There's something so satisfying about skilling in this game, such as finding the most efficient methods and even finding new methods that are more efficient than previous ones, using every last inventory spot as effectively as possible. There's some very cool and unique skills in Remote Realms, such as gathering, carpentry, sailing, alchemy, masonry, and trainer. Gathering is a pretty simple skill. You can pick items off the ground like tar, seaweed, and flax, and you can collect resources into buckets like milk, compost, sand, as well as being necessary for very important things in the game like birdhouse runs. Next, carpentry is one of the most important skills in the game. You're going to need logs to make planks at workbenches, which are used to make ships for sailing, birdhouses, compost bins, shrines, hen houses, and some unique items like hand carts, which I'll get more into later. Next up, sailing is a very cool and fun skill. You can use your boat to sail across the entire ocean and reach certain parts of the map that you usually wouldn't be able to, as well as some quest content that requires a boat. You gain sailing experience by completing circuits and by dealing damage in naval combat. A higher sailing level helps you to leverage the wind better and makes you stronger on the boat. And I feel like the sailing skill cape would be one of the coolest in the game. And next up is alchemy, a very deep and complex skill in the game, and rightfully so. I remember when I first started trying to figure out how to begin alchemy, it was such a great mystery. It literally felt like I was searching for the Philosopher's Stone. Alchemy is the study of change and the factors involved in driving or precluding it. You can also make elemental metals through alchemy, such as botanic, oceanic, and volcanic, which are all three used to make armor and weapons, which have very good advantages. Alchemy is another skill that I think would be one of the coolest skill capes in the game, and I look very forward to getting to a point where I can begin exploring it more deeply into new future alchemy content. Next up is masonry, another interesting, unique, and important skill. Through masonry, you raise solid structures around the realm through mining sandstone, limestone, and granite, which are used to make walls, which are very interesting, as well as different turret types, which help with magic and range. And you can build altars across the map, which you can take your bones to and get higher prayer experience, as well as building deposit boxes and bank chests at certain locations across the map for extremely useful banking spots. And lastly, for masonry, you can build obelisks at certain locations around the map, which allow you to teleport to them. And last, but surely not least, is trainer. Trainer is the art of befriending and training creatures. There's a lot of really cool creatures that you can catch and train all across the map, all with different uses. All of your trained creatures can help you fight. There's creatures that can help you with skilling, such as raccoon for thieving, yardman for farming, beaver for woodcutting, mole for mining, and heron for fishing. Some creatures have the ability to be mounted. There's mounts that are made for the regular land, like horses, unicorns, tigers. There's some mounts that you can ride on the ocean water. And then there's flying mounts, which are very good for navigating across the map quickly and efficiently, and can be flown over water and just all around help you get to areas of the map much easier. You can name all of your trained creatures, and some have the ability to evolve when they reach certain growth levels. All the information on each creature can be found in the Creature Handbook. Trainer really is such an awesome and fun skill, and the more I explore it, the deeper it gets. There's still a lot more I could say about Trainer, but for now I want to get to the final topics of the video. The next thing I want to talk about is the Toggle Burst Bar. The Toggle Burst Bar is a very cool and unique feature in the game. Its three main uses are for recharging energy, for skilling, and for special attacks. It's a little tricky at first, but it's really easy once you understand it. First, make sure you turn it on in the settings, and how you operate it is using keys 1, 2, 3, 4, and space. 1 moving the first bar, 2 the second bar, 3 the third bar, and 4 the fourth bar, and then space to activate it. The goal is to fill up the pink bar at the bottom and hit space to activate it. To fill up the pink bar, you use keys 1, 2, 3, 4, and your goal is to get rid of any yellow or red areas. So you use keys 1, 2, 3, and 4 to only get blue and green in the top 4 bars, until the pink bar at the bottom is fully filled up, and then you hit space to activate it. What I really like about the Toggle Burst Bar is that it's an actual skilled special attack. The Toggle Burst Bar requires skill, and the more you practice it, the better you get at it. So rather than the special attack just being something that you click, it's something that takes coordination and skill, which can lead to some very interesting fights all across the map, and again adds to that more adult, natural Iron Man-like feel to this game. Next, I want to talk about wheelbarrows and handcarts really quick. You can push or pull wheelbarrows or handcarts to have much more inventory spaces to work with. Wheelbarrows having 20 extra inventory spaces, and is unlocked by doing tasks for the Mare and Immerberry. Or the handcart, which has 40 extra inventory spaces and can be pulled by horses or unicorns for faster traveling. You can make the handcart with 66 carpentry, or any players with 66 carpentry can make the handcart pieces for you and then trade them to you. Next, I want to talk about No Man's Land, which is this game's version of the wilderness. In No Man's Land, anyone can attack anyone. It doesn't matter the skill difference or the level difference. Anyone can be attacked by anyone. No Man's Land covers a large region of the map, and as you get to higher combat levels, you'll find yourself constantly traveling in and out of No Man's Land. There's very good mining locations, there's very good woodcutting locations, and very good creatures to train on with good drops. No Man's Land creates some very interesting, unique, exciting, sometimes frustrating elements to the game. At this stage right now, the Remote Realms community is all really chill, so there aren't any real PKers yet, but as the player base continues to expand more and more, I expect this to change for sure. And this leads to a whole new world of interesting possibilities and potentials, where the stakes can be very high and you'll have to be ready for anything. And it's going to be very interesting to experience the game when PKers begin entering. I imagine there being a division forming between people who PK and people who don't PK. And I imagine cool new things happening, like higher level players who don't PK protecting the lower level players from PKers, or the non-PKers only targeting PKers when they see them roaming around in No Man's Land. It's definitely going to be very interesting when PKers really begin entering into the game and how the community reacts to it. And now the final major topic I want to talk to you about is bossing. As of recording this video, there are currently 2 official bosses in the game, which is the Lavasaur and the sea monster, Vascarmes, and new future bosses will certainly be a part of future Remote Realms updates. There's also a lot of creatures that would be considered mini-bosses. I love the point that Remote Realms is at right now, being at the forefront of new boss releases and all sorts of new Remote Realms content, but especially bosses. I really like how bossing is at a very simplified state right now, and it's not too overcomplicated and there's not too much going on yet. And how that as new bosses release, they will become gradually harder and harder, and eventually get to a point where you need multiple people to defeat the bosses. The bosses currently have very rare drops, such as rare armor, helmets, weapons, capes, that very few players in the game currently have. Even I myself don't have a single rare boss drop yet because I've been so busy with other things in this game. Everything in this video is really just beginning to scrape the surface of Remote Realms. I think the content and the potential of this game fully speak for themselves. The only reason this game hasn't absolutely blown up yet is because it's very hard to discover this game. But as I've said for a while now, the floodgates will definitely open soon. I'm going to leave all links and how to get started below. There's an awesome Discord community that you should join, and there's a great wiki that players have been putting a lot of work into lately. So make sure to use the wiki when you're getting started. There's a lot of useful information on there, including a world map which you'll definitely want to use. To get started, you'll go through the main Remote Realms website, which also has a high score section that you can make your mark on. And if you're someone like me who's a nerd for cool names in games, you can pretty much name your character anything at this point.